you say these things that's so meaningful. You're able to come out and express yourself on interviews and speaking up for all of us, right? It's amazing.
You feel comfortable to be, give your all and to be able to, it just feels like you have a great partner, you have a great collaborator.
You opened your arms so wide for all of us so that we could also succeed and bring us to you.
She was so generous. She was so perceptive and caring and like constantly looking out for me.
Just what you guys just said, I don't deserve it. I love you guys, and all of you made me as good as I am, right? It's a collaborative effort. I'm not here. I cannot be here without each and every one of you. I just needed to say that.
Welcome to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation's Conversations at Home program. I'm Jenelle Riley from Variety. And it is my pleasure to introduce this year's SAG Award nominees for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Please welcome Michelle Yeoh, Huy Quan, Stephanie Hsu, James Hong, and Harry Shum Jr. Thank you all so much for being here.
Hey.
Thank you, Jenelle.
This movie is a bit of a unicorn. It's a critical and commercial hit that people have really responded to and really taken to heart. I'm curious if there was a moment where you sort of knew it had entered the pop culture pantheon, like maybe when there was a run on Googly Eyes, or Harry, I saw a lot of Rakakuni Halloween costumes.
Yeah, there were quite a few in different variations. It was striking to see the level of creativity with it.
Have you been a Halloween costume before? Was that a new thing?
That is my first, especially with that many, and even showing up at Q&As dressing up. So like even the Comic Cons and the different cons that people were dressing up as like a family, and like they're dressing up their kids, and one of them like had their cat on top of them instead of a raccoon. It was pretty cool to see.
A live cat?
Yeah, a live cat. I don't know how. It must have been a lazy cat because it was not moving.
I saw a lot of Joys and Evelyns and Waymans as well, honestly.
Yeah, it's so nice to have so globally people reacting positively, embracing our little movie, and how it's touched so many people on different levels and through the different generations. I think that's really what made it so special for all of us. Yeah. And it's such a joy to work with this lot. None of us would be here without each other. We really all jumped in and became the everything bagel, right? You were the cream cheese, you were the lox, you were the ice cream, and then we all were this like giant bagel.
I mean, James, you're literally one of the most prolific actors to have ever worked. You've made so many memorable films and series. Did you know that this was something special when it came your way?
What is something special?
This movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, well, from the very beginning, I thought, well, forget this script, it's kind of strange, so I'll just sit back and enjoy myself. In fact, that's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting for the Super Bowl. And I just kind of forgot the whole thing. They had this little bungalow of some kind for an office. I said, this is a cheap company. So I told my agent, just put it in the background, So then when I did get the call to go to work, it was kind of getting accustomed to the whole thing, to working with all these wonderful actors, and especially Michelle Yeoh, when, I saw the video of her doing exercises on the bed where she pulls her legs way back and touch her face, I said, I'd like to work with this woman and learn how to do that, But since that, I have to send her the bill for broken back. I don't know how she bends forward and backwards to avoid the sword going past her head there. It's amazing. Congratulations. Did you take your lessons from the Silam priest or anything, or what? How did you get started?
I went to the Shaolin temple. Didn't shave my head though.
At what age did you start your Kung Fu lessons?
Oh, I actually only did Kung Fu, learn martial arts when I went to Hong Kong. when I started doing the movies, getting into the movie business. I really started my whole thing. I love dance. I thought my future, my dreams was always in dance. I never studied drama, not like the likes of you guys. Never went to school for that. I loved movies. I watched movies all the time, even as a little kid, because my mom, now she would have made a great movie star. So she took us to all kinds of films. So, and, you know, watching it as a child, you go like, oh, wow, that's so cool. You know, you're watching movies from all over the world and different countries, and you're learning. It's so magical. But I never saw myself on the big screen and thought like, one day that is what I want to do.
You're much too humble. Huh. But I don't know about working with you again, because you're full of tricks, you know.
Are you? Is she?
Two things I remember. One was I was doing a very dramatic scene of watching her do her thing. Then all of a sudden I felt some finger come and wipe the snot off my eyes and shove it in my mouth. I said, what the hell is this, you know? And they kept it in the movie because they liked it. And thank goodness the snot was terrible.
No, James, the truth is, you know, to do the multiverse jump, you have to do something that's so gross, like pee in your pants, or like you know, like eat chapstick or paper cuts, right? Yeah. So Britain, the Daniels had actually asked me to wipe the snot off your nose and put it in mine.
Oh,
and I was
I'll do that.
Right. And I was like, I'm not going there, man. So I dished and shoved it back straight.
Oh, wow.
If I think to be 100,
that's dedication.
Yeah.
Stephanie, you must be proud of me. Improvisation.
Yeah. When I read the script, I was going, wow, Michelle Yeoh is actually going to eat that's not in her mouth. I go, wow, that's pretty crazy. If the Daniels can get her to do that, but she's so smart. Michelle is so smart.
Yeah. Well, you too, you know, Key, you and Michelle, when you were in that closet doing those the scenes, did you do a lot of improvisation? It was wonderful, you know. No,
that was all in the script. But you know what's incredible, Jenelle, is working with James. Now he's 90 years old. He still hustles.
I'm 94.
Every scene he's in, he tries to steal it, right, Michelle?
You have to be on your toes when you're around James. He's like, whoa, where's he running off to now? No.
Well, when James accused you of being a trickster, I saw Stephanie nod very diligently. So I'm wondering if there's a story there.
Well, because, you know, okay, don't worry. But everyone is always like, Michelle is so regal. She's so like, wow, what a queen. And I'm like, yes, she is all those things. And what I feel so lucky to have witnessed is that she is so silly. And like, she is so funny. She is such a comedic person and actress. And it's just that she's never gotten the opportunity to show all of herself. And this role, it was so amazing to not only get to witness like on the ground her showing every single shade of herself, but watching the entire world now get to celebrate all the complexities of Michelle Yeoh. Because yes, she is all those things, but she's so silly. She's such a little punk. She really is. Like, remember at the Golden Globes where she's like, I'm gonna punch you. Like, that's just her sense of humor. I'm gonna beat you up. Sorry, my mistake. I'm gonna beat you up. But yeah. But I want to say something because I haven't gotten to tell James this in person, and I just put two and two together recently. What Michelle said earlier of it's so true that none of us would be here just even on this panel or in this movie if it weren't for everybody else. Like every single one of us, we had some tendril connected that made this possible. And of course, we have our matriarch, and then we have our like household legend, James. And what was really special, I was reflecting on, you know, all the moments that led me to this movie recently. And I realized that when I was in high school, I didn't know that James started East West Players. But when I was in high school, I started doing theater. That's when I started doing theater. And when I was getting more serious about it in my junior and senior year, I was really desperate to find a space where there were people who looked like me doing plays and Chekhov and like professional actors who looked like me. And so I looked on the internet, like Asian people theater or something, Los Angeles, and I found East West Players. And so I did an internship at East West my senior year. And that was like my first time I was introduced to Chekhov. And I just sat in the rehearsal room and they let me watch. But at the very end, they gave me a small little cameo in the play because I had been helping out. And I just put those pieces together. And so, James, I just wanted to thank you in FaceTime and digital FaceTime because, you know, that vision that you had ushered in so many people. And it's so beautiful that we get to be a part of this movie together. And it just feels so symbolic, you know, and I'm so grateful for
Thank you for the praise. I started East West Players because having to go back, and this is very important, all the roles up to that point, I would say are 95% cliche Chinaman roles, you know. It's always the white guy rescuing the yellow underdog or somebody beating up on us. I think that's why he dropped out. There were just no good roles in those days, you know. So I just got together with Mako Iwamatsu, who was brilliant during his days. And he and Ray Creevy, a white guy, those two were really close together. You know, they just built the sets and they spent all night doing the chores, starting a theater. And from that moment, the three of us there started this East West Players. And then, of course, brilliant people like Beulah Kuo say, you guys got to, it takes a woman to know what to do next. We were but a bunch of guys, actors, you know, but she says, you got to register the name and legally establish yourself as a corporation. So she took it in her hand and made us the East West Players. So that's how it was, you know. And I'm glad it gave an opportunity like you to do your thing. And now they're trying to expand and buy the building right across from them and build a whole new theater of some kind to keep abreast of the times, you know. So it's really, I hope to make it. And Stephanie, you look prettier every day. I can't.
Well, I feel like we should. Stephanie is still such a theater kid. She's actually in her car because she's going to go see a show right after this.
Yeah, really.
Once it's in blood, I don't think
most of you guys are going to London, I hear, for the British awards, right? Is that right, Keith?
BAFTA.
Yeah, we're going end of this week for BAFTA in London.
Mm-hmm. And
And, you know, it's amazing how, I think when all of us got together to make this movie, you know, there was 3 reasons. One, we believe in the script. Second, we believe in the Daniels vision. They're just insanely talented. And third, it's really because of Michelle Yeoh. We all loved her for so many years, and we all were dying to work with her. So when this came along, you know, we did it out of love for only 38 days in Simi Valley, and none of us predicted that our movie would do this well, would get the kind of attention it did. And especially during this entire award season to be recognized by so many amazing, prestigious, organizations. It's just incredible. And I think I speak for all of us when I say we are so thankful to everybody, and especially to the audience, how they all came out and supported it, and to see how much our movie resonated with everybody.
Well, I hope that
it's really heartwarming.
I hope that we all get a little more pay on the sequel.
Sequel? Someone said sequel?
Of course. And I'm glad you're going to London, but you're going to miss the premiere of a film I finally finished after 4 years. It's called Passy Lee and the Keepers of the Five Kingdoms. Harry is able to come. Thank you, Harry.
Yeah, of course. I want to come support. It's just
Thank you.
One thing I want to add to that is it's I think it's very rare to see the combination of people that have come from so many different places, but also you completely just if you're just talking about energy wise, it just feels like such a comforting place to be in. And when you're on a set, allowing to hear each other's stories, but also expand on them and use it to kind of propel whatever you're doing in the scene. And there's always very much a yes and environment. And from what I saw, also what I was involved in the sequences in the movie, it's the translation to what happened on that screen. And then also what's happening after is just this incredible journey that I think any actor would be so lucky to kind of just have this experience. And it's just showing such a perfect example of how many more filmmakers and actors and artists can hopefully achieve things that they were once afraid to maybe go there or go a little further and to kind of see also people on the screen that, you know, haven't had very many opportunities to be able to just go there. And I think this movie is so special. And even I remember the South by Southwest after it screened, and just having that energy of feeling like people really absorbing what was happening on there, and then us getting together at the house and just giving these like really heartfelt speeches. It's just this feeling that I think is why we do what we do, especially when we're talking to SAG and actors who really understand this, that you're gonna swipe some snot from someone's nose and you're gonna make something creative out of it, a creative decision out of it.
I feel like because this panel's for the ensemble, the Daniels are so good at cultivating a community and cultivating an ensemble, and not just within the cast, but also with the crew as well. I feel like what they also are so good at doing, that I'm so grateful for, and I think why a lot of people resonate with our film is, you know, I think as actors, or when you go into any industry, if you're a lawyer or like working at a startup and you're starting to work with like the big people, it feels like there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, or like society tells you have to like fit in a kind of box to succeed. And I feel like the Daniels do such a beautiful job of seeing who's in front of them, embracing all of their quirks, their humanity, their idiosyncrasies, and say, yes, let's bring you out further. And I feel like as actors, that's such a beautiful gift when you are given permission to bring all that you have to all that is inherent to you to the table. You know what I mean?
Yes, very much so.
Yes, we do know what you mean, yes.
Yeah.
No, but if you look at the Daniels, it reflects who they are as well, because they are bringing themselves and whatever they have, things that people would have said, it doesn't work, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that. It's like all the shouldn't, can, and knows to us. This is the time when we turn around and say, life is taking risks, certain risks, calculated risks, yes, as long as it doesn't endanger your life or whatever it is. But you can't be afraid to fail or to fall or something like this, because you have to. Otherwise, we would be making the same things over and over again. I remember when I got the script and I said, whoa, I have to meet these guys because this is so original and so out there. When was the last time I read a script like that? You know, forget about the hot dogs and the body parts and things like that was flying out. But genuinely, the authentic voice that wanted to be heard, the humanity, you know, with kindness and compassion and all that about family and reuniting, reunification of family, you know, healing each other. And that was what the Daniels were very brilliant at. But without each and every one of you putting forward your best game, I think we trusted each other to say, what the heck, let's just do it, you know, and be bold and beautiful and brave and crazy. Because at the end of the day, we knew what was the core message. We understood the love. We could see it in each other. We could see that trust, not just the cast, but also the crew. And that also tribute to the Daniels and Jonathan Wong, where, you know, they brought everyone together from behind the scenes, especially behind the scenes, where the family would come out in the morning to do crazy exercises, right? Remember all that? Because it bonded us. You know, we saw each other. We saw the person who would be doing the props in the back room, which you never see, right? We saw the one who makes the caterers or whatever. Well, not really caterers. We had like someone that cooked for us, but we saw each and every one, and that was the most beautiful part of it because we were in it together. Once you do the movie, once you finished your labor of love, you literally just put it out there, and it's up to the audience. It's no longer in our hands. Right? We can promote the hell out of it, but if they don't embrace it or if they don't relate to it or it doesn't resonate with them, it's just another movie. And that's, and that's really not what we did our best. And I think each of us really, really did that with a full heart, big, strong.
That's so well said. Michelle, were you a politician at one time?
No.
Could you be?
No, but you are brilliant to express. On the interview shows with you, you say things that's so meaningful. You're not only an actress, a beautiful woman, and able to do all kinds of things, but you're able to come out and express yourself on interviews and speaking up for all of us, right? It's amazing. I haven't met a woman like you. Next lifetime, I'm going to propose to you. So anyway, I've said enough. Anybody else want to say anything?
Well, actually, I wanted to ask Harry, because you worked with Michelle a couple times before this, but she is a queen. Does the intimidation ever go away from working with Michelle Yeoh?
I mean, the first time I met her, she literally, I think, did like this crazy arm bar type thing and like twisted it and then had her foot on top of my neck. So, so somehow she's always above me in some sort of way.
I carried you on my shoulders. You remember? We ran across the car park.
Yeah. We got to switch roles for a little bit. That was like, I was like, this feels wrong. I shouldn't be on top. It should be Michelle. But I will say one thing beyond, like, we all know Michelle's incredibly talented, incredibly beautiful, and kind-hearted. But I will say this one thing that just really struck me, and that I was like, Michelle is beyond measure of like what, when you look at just talent and we talk about her being a queen. I just remember when she met my mom met her in New Zealand, and my mom loves to show like paintings and fruit carving. She's an artist, and Michelle is just, just in it and just like really talking to my mom. And I was like, okay, thank you so much, Michelle, for like, making this dream come true for my mom to meet you. And I remember the premiere for the movie, it was Crouching Tiger for that movie. I just remember, I was like, where'd Michelle go? And I couldn't find her, and I couldn't find my mom, and I couldn't find my dad, and they were in the corner. And I have this beautiful picture. I'll share some soon, but Michelle just looking at my mom's phone, and then my dad like photobombing it, and they were just off in the corner and just having this beautiful conversation, and just this beautiful heart that Michelle has, I think, really is able to, when you're on a set with her, she is, you feel comfortable to be, give your all, and to be able to feel like you are having someone that's, could be very intimidating in the very beginning, but once you settle in, it just feels like you have a great partner, you have a great collaborator, and also you have a good champion that will champion. Not always, but I think what really stands out is that, you finally get to see her play all these things that she's capable of as a human being, and the humanization that sometimes gets stripped away for a lot of actors doesn't happen. So I'm just so happy that you and James and Key and Stephanie we have this opportunity in this movie to even kickstart it or to showcase this beautiful parts that we never get to show.
I do want to close on my part saying one thing that will always stick in my mind. After my dialogue in Cantonese, I'm talking in Cantonese, and all of a sudden they say cut, and Michelle says, "That's Mandarin." Wow, she hit me right in the face with I said, oh my gosh, I have to say it again in my poor Cantonese, but this is not a woman you fool around with, you know. You got to be on the ball every second, right? Key and Stephanie, you know. By the way, Stephanie, when I come to makeup every morning, I see you in a different outfit. And, you know, I was wondering, you know, whether it's a fashion show or what it is. You know, you're in these. How did it feel to be in all those costumes?
Yeah, you know, it is so kind of crazy because I think we didn't have time to even think about how wild it was that we were trying to achieve what we were doing. It was just like, okay, next look. And then we just normalized that. And it was so fun. I mean, it's a testament to, again, like our incredible crew and everybody on board who made the impossible possible and just said, okay, of course we have 38 days. Why else would anyone give us more? Like, this is the assignment. We have to achieve it. We want to achieve it because we love it. And so we found all different kinds of shortcuts. And like, we made like a stencil for my pearl jewels so that every morning it would just be a lot easier to make. And it is really incredible what everybody pulled off. And just to get back on the Michelle train for a second, because it's so fun to be on the We Love Michelle Yeoh train. But it's true. I feel like getting to work with Michelle, I know all of us would feel this too. I just feel like you teach us how to lead with grace in such a beautiful way. Egoless, completely egoless. And she just completely, it is so true that all of us, yes, we loved the Daniels and we loved the script, but if Michelle Yeoh wasn't helming the project, we'd be like, these guys are weird. But instead we were like, okay, this legend said yes to this. So this is going to work. It's just 100% going to work because Michelle's attached. And then getting onto set and watching you completely surrender to the process every single day, never questioning the Daniels, never questioning Key or me or Harry, or of course Jamie, but why no one would ever question Jamie. But it's something I feel eternally grateful for and will carry forever, because I so realize how you could have said, you know what, I'm going to stop at this many hours every day and just do my share and that's it. But instead you opened your arms so wide for all of us so that we could also succeed and bring us to you, you know, and to the project. It really is because of you. It's just actually crazy because you're such a legend, but your heart is right there. And I do think that our movie was able to kind of reach past and reach into so many people because our matriarch leads her life with such love that subliminal magic is what's palpable and what glued us all all
I'll add to this too, because for me,
yeah, get on Michelle train.
Get on that train.
Michelle train right here. Michelle carries the bulk of the weight on this movie, and she comes to set very well prepared. And not only does she have so much stuff to do in this movie, but at the same time, she cares about all of us. Especially for me, because from day one, it was a dream for me to work with her. And I also told her, I said, Michelle, you know, I'm really nervous. And I said, if I'm not good or in any way, please let me know. And throughout the entire shooting of the movie, she was so generous. She was so perceptive and caring and like constantly looking out for me. So if you think I did a really good job, I mean, a lot of credit goes to Michelle because she was constantly, because, you know, we would have a lot of scenes together and she would just say, Key, you know, she would give me little notes here and there to help with my performance. And I could not have done it without her. So anyway, this is Michelle. I think your face must be blushing because we all love you so much.
Where did the fanny pack kung fu come in? Did you invent that, or you know, in the first place, did you actually teach kung fu, or you know, all of us 40 years later or whatever, that little kid pops in and he's doing this thing with the fanny pack and you know, hitting people. And
well, I trained really hard for that.
Wait,
I studied. Yeah, sorry, Michelle, go.
Just what you guys just said, I don't deserve it. I love you guys, and all of you made me as good as I am, right? It's a collaborative effort. Acting is not about yourself. You're only as good as with your other actor. It's like when I watch Stephanie, you know, when we did that corridor scene, I'm just sitting like going, what the hell? And that connection, because we didn't have a lot of rehearsal time, but it didn't matter so much because we were all very well prepared. We came prepared. We all brought in, say, this is my respect to the Daniels, to the script, and to all my fellow actors. And, you know, because we don't want to waste anybody's time. And only when you're prepared that can you try new things and, you know, reach out and do all of that. But the connection with is chemistry as well. When I looked at in Stephanie's eyes, you know, it was no longer Michelle, it was always Evelyn and Joy. It was so beautiful. And then with Key, you know, I know he's always so nervous. He's like, was that good enough? He's like, don't do that. And one time I remember saying to him, Key, you are so good. You have to trust yourself. Because, you know, he gets very nervous. And it's right. We all get butterflies in our stomach and go, shit, you know, this is a big scene. Am I going to be able to get to that emotional level, which is you have very short time to get there, right? And then you have to dial it back and get it there again on so many different levels. But because we were so heavily invested in our roles, we knew it so well. We were no longer Michelle, we were no longer Stephanie. You know, that was not Key, that was not Harry. We were that family. We were, you know, with James as well, we were that family. You could feel that relationship. We didn't have to say one word. We just had to look at each other. And then, of course, there was the amazing Jamie Lee Curtis. The first day she said she was on set, she said, I don't know my script. You could have thrown the phone book at me, but because I'm here for Michelle, and you know, it's like, I love you guys to death. Thank you. I'm not here. I cannot be here without each and every one of you. I just needed to say that. Thank you. All right, now
Stephanie has to go.
Now back to the fanny pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, we're
I
going to
love
let
you
Stephanie
guys.
step out. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the
Thank you so
show.
much. Love y'all so much. See you
Love you.
soon. Okay.
soon.
Love you guys. Okay.
Stay well.
Back to the fanny pack. Key, you know,
Yeah,
James.
you know, for the fanny pack, you know, it was a completely different style. I studied Taekwondo when I was a kid, and the fanny pack was a style called the rope soap root dot, a wushu rope dot. Sorry, and that was something that was foreign to me. And again, you know, we had a great action team, the Martial Club boys, Andy and Brian Lay, and I trained with them for weeks to master that, because knowing from day one that we only have one day to shoot it. And the Daniels came to me and said, Key, we don't have the luxury of doing, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 takes. So you would have to really know all the moves. And when we're on set, you know, we're going to have to do all of that in a very short period of time. And this is, again, to the credit of our DP Larkin Saipo and his team. We did more than 60 setups that one day. Insane. With a lot of, and then also with some big sequence too, where, you know, the stunt guy was on a wire rig where he did the flips and smashes into the desk. And it was just really tough to pull off. And again, that goes into, you know, the genius of the Daniels. They knew exactly what they wanted, how to shoot it. Of course, you know, they grew up watching Michelle Yeoh movies, and Jackie Chan movies and Sammo Hung's, the same movies that we all grew up watching. Mm-hmm. So they knew what they wanted from the very beginning. And I remember it was halfway through the shoot. Everyone was working long hours every single day, and they cut that scene together and showed it to everybody. And I was so nervous. I didn't want to see it. They showed it. And then I remember Michelle Yeoh coming, knocking on my dressing room door. And she says, Key, oh my God, I just saw the fanny pack sequence. And to get that praise from Michelle Yeoh, the queen of martial arts movies, that was really special to me. So that was what a great memories we had making this movie.
Mhm.
So, the movie is so special, and I love that people have responded to it so beautifully. I want to again congratulate you on your nominations, and I want to thank you so much for being here today and sharing your experiences and your craft with your fellow actors. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.